"You know what, Mom? This house isn't yours anymore." Those were my daughter's exact words. We were all sitting at the dining table, eating dinner. It was supposed to be an ordinary family meal. I had made roast chicken, mashed potatoes, and apple pie. Her favorite since she was little. I thought the evening would be warm and happy, filled with laughter and stories. But those words changed everything. I remember my hand stopped halfway to my mouth. My fork trembled slightly. The room went quiet. Except for the ticking clock on the wall. My grandson was the only one still chewing, too young to understand what had just been said. I looked at my daughter. I waited for her to laugh, to say she was joking. But she didn't. She looked serious. Cold. Her eyes didn't meet mine. "What? What do you mean, sweetheart?" I asked softly. My voice sounded smaller than I wanted it to. She sighed, like she was tired of explaining something she'd already decided. "Mom, Daniel and I talked about it. This house is too big for you. It's old, it needs repairs, and it's not safe. You fall sometimes. You forget things. It's just better if you move into assisted living. We already found a nice place." I blinked. I didn't know what to say. "This house," I whispered. "Your father and I built this house. We worked every weekend, saved every penny, just to make it ours." "I know, Mom," she said, cutting me off. "But that was years ago. Things are different now." I looked at my son-in-law, Daniel. He kept his eyes on his plate. He didn't say a word. That silence hurt just as much. My son Michael sat quietly too, pushing his food around. He glanced at me once, but then looked away. I could tell. He didn't agree with her. But he wasn't going to speak up either. No one defended me. That was the moment I realized I was no longer needed. I was just in the way. After dinner, I sat in the living room by myself. I could hear laughter coming from the kitchen, but it felt like it was coming from far away, like I wasn't part of that world anymore. I looked around the room. The old wooden clock my husband fixed 20 years ago still ticked softly. The curtains I sewed myself when my daughter went to college hung beside me. The family photos lined up neatly. My children smiling, holding their babies. All those birthdays, weddings, holidays, so much love. And now, suddenly, I was being asked to leave it all behind. That night, I barely slept. I kept replaying her words in my head. "This house isn't yours anymore." I wanted to be angry, but I couldn't. I was just sad. So deeply sad. The next morning I woke up early. The sun hadn't even risen yet. I sat in my husband's old armchair, holding his favorite mug, the one with a small chip near the handle. I used to scold him for never throwing it away. He would smile and say, "It's still useful just like me." Now, that mug was the only thing that felt like him. I whispered into the quiet room. "If you were here, you'd know what to say." Just came, slowly at first, then freely. I wiped them away and made myself a promise. I would leave before they had the chance to push me out. Later that morning, my daughter came downstairs, her hair tied up holding a folder. "Mom, I brought some brochures. The places are nice. You'll like them. There's one by the park and one with a garden." I stopped her gently. "No," I said. "I've already decided." She looked confused. "Decided what?" "I'll leave," I said. "But I'll choose where I go. I don't need a home to be chosen for me." Her mouth opened slightly. Maybe she didn't expect that. "Mom, I'm just trying to help." "I know you are," I said quietly. "You've done what you think is best. Now let me do the same." That day, while everyone was busy, I started packing. Slowly, carefully. My clothes, a few photo frames, my husband's blanket, and the little jewelry box he gave me on our 25th anniversary. I walked through every room. The kitchen, where I taught my kids to cook pancakes on Sunday mornings. The hallway, where they ran laughing after school. The stairs, where I sat on Christmas mornings waiting for them to wake up. Every step was a memory. Every room held a part of me. When I reached the garden, I stopped. The rose bush was still there. The one my husband planted for me the day before he died. It was full of blooms. I touched one gently and whispered, "Goodbye, love." I left a note on the table before I went. It said, "Don't worry about me. Take care of the house. It's full of love. Make sure it stays that way." I took one last look at the home I built and closed the door. I rented a small apartment in town. It wasn't much. 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, a tiny balcony. But it was mine. The first few nights were hard. I cried myself to sleep. I missed the sound of my family. I missed the creak of the old floors. I missed feeling needed. But slowly I began to find peace. I joined a local senior group. I met people who had stories just like mine. Mothers and fathers who gave everything, and then one day found themselves alone. We laughed, we shared, we healed together. One morning I sat on my balcony with my coffee watching the sun rise. It felt quiet but not empty. I was learning that being alone doesn't always mean being lonely. Sometimes it means you finally have space to breathe. Months passed before I heard from my daughter. One day she called. Her voice sounded softer. "Mom, can I come over?" When she arrived, she looked tired. Not the same confident tone she had when she told me to leave. She sat on my couch and took my hands. "Mom, I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't realize how much I hurt you." I smiled at her. "I know, sweetheart. You were trying to protect me, in your own way." Tears filled her eyes. "The house doesn't feel the same without you," I nodded. "That's because love built that home, not walls." She hugged me tight. Really tight, like she used to when she was little. We cried together. Since that day, things changed. She visits often now, sometimes with my grandchildren, sometimes just by herself. She brings flowers from my garden. She says they still bloom beautifully. And every time she leaves, she says, "Love you, Mom." And I say it back, "Always, my love, always." I never did go back to live in that house. But I didn't need to, because I learned something. A home isn't the place you live in. It's the people you carry in your heart. Life has a way of showing us pain in strange ways. Sometimes those we love hurt us. Not because they stop loving us, but because they don't know how to show it anymore. If you're listening to this, and you've ever felt forgotten by your own family, I want you to remember this. You still matter. You always did. You can start again. You can find peace, even after loss. You can rebuild, even after they close the door. And maybe, just maybe, one day they'll realize what they lost and come knocking again. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps this little voice reach others who might need to hear it. Because out there, someone else is sitting quietly, waiting to be reminded. They're not alone.